Hey, I just letting you know. Anyways, I'm an apple today. Didn't want to be an egg again. Figured do something else. I didn't want to be an egg again. I wanted to be an apple. Keep the doctor away. I guess I'm sure you guys have heard that before. Apple a day, keep the doctor away. I don't see a doctor, so there you go. Anyways, so you guys are AP. We're looking at fallacies. I think today we'll finish all the rest of the fallacies. I don't want. I don't want to keep going with that next week. Again, just make sure you really want to memorize those. You want to remember them, just like the the rhetorical techniques. As far as I know, what I've been reading is that the AP test is going to be open notes. Yay, but not really. People think, oh yeah, that's awesome, but it's still, as far as I know, it's still a timed test, and that's not necessarily good, because what happens is people don't study. They expect, oh, I can use my notes, and then they waste their time looking for that specific answer. If you've memorized this stuff, if you know how to use it, it'll be a lot easier. Then you only have to go back to look at your notes for the hardest stuff rather than for everything. So my advice is make sure that you have the rhetorical techniques memorized as much as possible, as well as the fallacies, because I can assure you they will ask questions about fallacies. Again, rhetorical essay, they will not have any fallacies. You do not want to mention any fallacies, but for the for the for the test, you do want to make sure you know the fallacies, okay, that you recognize them, that you know what they are, okay. The other thing is, I didn't want to do this, but it's more than likely, seems like I might have to start doing activities with you guys. At least it might have to be at least 4 times a week, maybe starting next week. Mostly because when we look at the schedule for green design, it's only twice a week, and that's just not gonna cut it for what we need to do. What I found out is, as far as I know, we're still gonna be doing essays, a rhetorical essay. You guys are still gonna be responsible for doing that for the AP test. So we're gonna have to train, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to do it. My advice is figure out a way to be able to get yourself recorded. So the way that I'm thinking of doing is maybe running a conference or doing a Google Meets where I don't need to see your face. But what I will need is for you to put your phone somewhere where I could see what you're writing, okay? And that's so we're practicing, okay? You could mute it. All I need to see is that you're actually writing, okay? So we Google Meets, you put the phone. I think there's a way to flip the camera on Google Meet, but again, I'll give you guys more information on it. But just be aware that at this point, I'm looking at meeting a little bit more than just twice a week, because twice a week isn't going to cut it. We already lost time. They really, in the beginning, were not giving us a lot of information how everything was going to happen with the AP test. We got a little bit more information now. At least we know that there's going to be the rhetorical essay, so we're going to be practicing a little bit more of that. So just be aware that we're down, we're close to the actual test. Again, it is going to be at home. I will give you more information as I find out, but again, just I'm starting to look at doing like at least 4 times a week that we need. But again, we'll see. Okay, but I mean, this is so you guys have a better chance of passing the test. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm an apple. So again, I'll talk to you guys later, and you guys just watch the video. I think I'm going to continue with the fallacies, if I remember correctly. Next week, like I said, we're probably going to do a couple of essays. We'll see, because we got to start. We gotta get back on the horse. Okay. All right. Talk to you guys later. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and continue. If I remember, we left off over here, and we're going to continue with equivocation, and it's basically what equivocation, and let me make sure you guys can see it. I'll read it. Half-truths are arguments that give lies an honest appearance. They're usually tricks based, usually based on tricks of language. And again, they give you an example here. I wrote the entire paper myself. When, let's say that this person was accused of plagiarism, she's like, I wrote the entire paper myself, which obviously technically she might have, but she copied it from somebody else. So this is the example they gave you. Another example could be if you guys look at Trump. Let's say that they told him, you didn't say anything about people should have a social distancing, and then he might say something like, I did say we should have social distancing, and it's like yes, but the reality is he said it by the time kind of a little too late. So it's kind of like when you try to play words or games with words so that to deceive people. Okay, so it's like using language. Again, this person technically, if you plagiarize, you technically did write the paper, but obviously you copied it from this person, copied it from somebody. And again, with Trump, he might have, whatever policies he came up with, technically he did. But when the reporters are asking him, sometimes it's like that when he did, it was a little too late. So it's like that's kind of what equivocation is. It's kind of getting around and trying to, trying to use language to kind of trick people. Okay. And the next one is non sequitur. The example they use here is actually, I think, pretty good. Non sequitur is just an argument that doesn't follow. It's not really logical. I really couldn't find anything else that really would show like what a non sequitur is. Obviously, other people could use something else, but again, it's like you must not love me. Why? Because you haven't bought me that bicycle. Again, those two things are not related. Which again, you must not love me. Again, and again, this does not go. So again, it's kind of equating something to something else. If you look at another way of looking at it, could be like, let me see, I'm trying to think. I read about a dog attacking this little kid. I better not go to the park because there's dogs there, and I might be attacked as well. So again, that's something that's it's not really related. And let me see, I'm trying to think of another example. You could even argue that, although I guess it could be fear tactic, even like when they talk about building the wall is kind of a non sequitur because it's like, oh, there's crime, we got to build a wall. It's like you could argue that that could be a sort of non sequitur as well. But again, like I said, this right here was like a really good example. Again, you must not love me. You didn't buy me that bicycle, which again, two things that don't go together. Next one. Oh, strawman. This one is like fallacy attack on an argument. Now, if you guys remember, ad hominem attacks the man. Strawman, which kind of interesting that I said ad hominem. This one is attacking an argument that isn't really there, or it's weak. So you attack something that is weak so that it's easier for you to make the opponent look bad. Yeah, that's basically what it is. So this one's, I guess it could be confusing because this is actually, it does look at the argument, but it doesn't look at the argument that the person is actually making. Sometimes it'll make up an argument that the other person is making or something along those lines to make the other person look bad. And I put guns here. Because this is typically something that Democrats will try to use. Not Democrats, Republicans. And I think I saw it used against Obama. I saw it used against Hillary. And they basically say, oh, she wants or he, Obama wants to take our guns away. And that's something that the other side or the other candidate might say, typically somebody like Trump. And again, they look, again, this is not attacking the person, it's attacking or making up, because from what I remember, I don't think I even back then, I don't remember Hillary saying anything about getting rid of guns. Same thing with Obama, as far as I remember. But again, they're making an argument, something that would be weak. I guess even though they haven't said anything, they're trying to make it seem like they did. But again, this one is focusing. Don't get confused by the fact that it says strawman, because it's not focusing on the person. It's focusing on a weak argument. Okay. Something that makes it easy for them to easily say that person is wrong. Again, for most people, maybe guns is not, is, you got to think about when they're talking probably to a Republican, the Republican base, and then in that case, they're saying, hey, they want to take your guns away. That would be like an easy way to make them not want to vote for the other side. Okay, so again, it's just something that makes them weak. The other press that I saw, I didn't really like what they had here, so just kind of keep in mind guns. If you're on the other side, if you're a Republican, that would be kind of an easy way or an easy argument that they wouldn't want to deal with. Okay. All right, so let's go to the other side. I was here. Did I read equivocation? Oh yeah, we did. Let me make sure. Faulty causality, non sequitur, straw man. All right. Oh, there you go. Red herring. Okay, so there's a picture of Obama there. So this is kind of an older book, but it's all good. Red herring, it's named after, let's read it. This fallacy gets its name from the old British hunting practice of dragging a dried herring across the path of the fox in order to throw the hounds off the trail. So it's kind of like distracting. So it comes from this, the hunters would do this, to throw the hounds off the trail, to kind of confuse the hounds or the dogs. So just kind of keep that in mind. So it's like you're following a trail and then they try to distract you. So that's basically, I would even put just distraction. Okay. That's kind of what I would look at it as. I think the thing here is this one is just is like, what about the Constitution? And he just tries to, again, this is Obama, and he tries to distract people with like, because it's like, what about the Constitution? They're asking about the Constitution, and she's like, what Constitution? But instead of focusing on the choice, because he chose her, he's focusing on, oh, but what about the culture? Look at the race, empathy, gender, love, dreams. So there's all these different things that would get people away from, because I think they were kind of criticizing why he chose her. And then he's just like, hey, tender, touchy feely, look at all these things. Okay, so it's just kind of distracting people from the actual whatever the actual issue is. That's basically what it is. It's like I said, it's just different ways to distract people. Let me see if I could think of something else. Yeah, I think that's all I could think of right now. But again, it's just distracting people with things that sometimes are not even related. If you guys notice, the example they used here was not related at all. I'm just trying to think of an example for Trump, but I couldn't think of one. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, if it comes back to me, I'll bring it up. The next one is a faulty analogy, and comparison can help to clarify one concept measuring it against another that is more familiar. So an analogy is almost like an example or an extended example, if you want to call it. And one example I could think of, let me see, we're looking at faulty analogy, and it's like when they try to compare, like, let's say different, let's say addictions would be one that I could look at, is I think they look at when they try to compare, let's say, like a video game addiction to drug addiction. Obviously, you guys know that it's a little bit different. But again, they maybe try to explain some things. I mean, I think even cell phone addiction, they might do the same as well. But again, you could argue that it's a faulty analogy because when people are addicted to illegal drugs, some people, go and kill or commit crimes. And as far as I know, sometimes when people are addicted to their phones or video games, I don't think I've ever heard of somebody killing another person because they're addicted to their phones. So when you see those things in the news, that would be an example of a faulty analogy. Okay. And for the work today, what I would want you guys to do is to do these. And again, you guys have the PDF. Do these right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Just answer the questions and just I'll put it on the assignment, but just answer the questions and that's basically it. Okay.